Finally, we've got empty questions, which have no answer, and whose answers lead to dead ends. An empty question cannot tell you anything that you don't already know. There are both habits of good thinking and habits of bad thinking. The bad habits tend to arise in two ways. They arise because of how we think. These are bad habits that are mostly psychological factors such as fears, motivations, and attitudes. And bad habits also arise because of what we think. And these habits arise when our thinking becomes problematic, particularly concerning our beliefs. Allow me to quickly inventory some of the most egregious habits of bad thought. First, self-interest. That is, advancing some argument or defending some worldview only because you personally stand to benefit if it's true and for no other reason. Second, saving face. That is, covering up one's own mistakes, harmful actions, or foolish choices. Third, peer pressure. That is, accepting an idea or worldview only because it's favored by the group that one belongs to and for really no other reason. Fourth, stereotyping and prejudice. That is, treating people as tokens of a type, almost never as individuals with their own distinct qualities. Fifth, excessive skepticism. That is, unreasonable demanding that one's assertions and claims be provable beyond all possible doubt. Sixth, intellectual laziness and willful ignorance. That is, giving up too soon or sidestepping the important questions that really matter in a human life, such as those concerning truth, freedom, and our own mortality. And seventh, relativism. That is, believing that a claim is true or false only relative to some other condition. There are many varieties of relativism, but the two most common are subjective relativism and cultural relativism. Subjective relativism is the claim that all truth is in the eye of the beholder, or that something is true if someone believes it to be true, and then it is true for that person, or perhaps only for that person. Cultural relativism is the idea that something is true or right because it's generally accepted by some culture or society. The problem with accepting these kinds of relativism is that they make truth or falsity relative to personal or cultural beliefs. And while it's respectful to consider others' points of view, differences in perspective do not entail that philosophical questions are entirely subjective. Being open to other personal and cultural beliefs and attitudes does not mean that we have to accept them without good reason. Now, let's close by looking at a few dictates of good thinking. Be curious. Curiosity leads to discovery, invention, expanded awareness of the world and of the self. Be self-aware. Know your own habits, faults, desires, powers, and talents. Be healthy. Good health as a thinking habit involves getting enough exercise, eating nutritious food, practicing sound hygiene, and getting enough sleep. Be courageous. To be a courageous thinker means to care more for the truth than for one's personal interests. It means committing yourself to what you rationally judge to be the best course of action, whether or not your friends or the authorities accept it. Be reasonably skeptical. Healthy skepticism is an unwillingness to take things for granted or to accept the popular explanations for things. It prefers to investigate many possibilities before settling on the best available explanation. Think for yourself. Don't let other people do your thinking for you. Don't blindly accept claims without clearly, consistently, and rationally thinking them through. Keep it simple. If you've got two or more competing explanations, other things being equal, the simplest explanation tends to be the best, since it often relies on the fewest assumptions. Be precise. For the purpose of reasoning as clearly and as systematically as possible, it's important to use our words very carefully, and the best way to do this is to craft good definitions. Be patient. Good critical thinking often needs to uncover that which is subtle, hard to discern at first, and easy to overlook. and the search for these subtleties should not be hasty. Be consistent. It's important that one's answers to the big questions generally cohere well together and do not obviously contradict each other. Consistency also means staying on topic, sticking to the facts, and following an argument to its conclusion. Be open-minded. Being open-minded means listening to others, taking their views seriously, and treating their ideas with respect even while critically examining them. And finally, ask for help. While it's important to make your own decisions about your own life, there's nothing wrong with asking others whom you trust to offer you advice and guidance. The shared wisdom and experience of one's friends, elders, and associates can often lead to different perspectives and better decisions. That's it for now. As you work through this unit, try to focus on your intellectual environment, your worldview, and the way you handle the problems and issues that matter most to you. Gaining clarity about these matters is a prerequisite for genuinely thinking your own thoughts. And that's the first step toward becoming a critical thinker. I hope you enjoy your journey through this course. And on behalf of my philosophy colleagues, best wishes.